What's up? I'm Jerry and welcome to this channel, EndWorldSuckDOTCom. Also be sure to check out the official website at www.EndWorldSuck.com and the Twitter at EndSuck. And as always, these links will be in the description below. So in this video, I want to start something new on a weekly basis, and I want to do a Cryptocoin report. Initially starting off just focusing on Bitcoin and Litecoin, since they are the two most popular ones, but also going into some other crypto coins in the future. Alright, so what I have right here is Bitcoinity.org, and this is showing the price action for the past 7 days on the Bitstamp exchange. We had a low when we started off that last week of about 132, and we went all the way up to this high of 172, and now we are at the 165. But let's zoom out here to the 30-day chart. This is after this right here, this huge dip and the spike in volume was when the news that Silk Road had been shut down. And a lot of people panicked and they sold because they figured the price of Bitcoin was going to drop. And it did drop initially. It went all the way down here to this $85 low. But then it recovered shortly thereafter. And since then, it has not only recovered, but has broke through this resistance here. On Mt. Gox, this resistance was 150. And it shot all the way up here to, like I said, this 172 high. Right here at the bottom, this graph shows the resistance here on the right, and this is the support that we have here on the left. So if the price were to fall down to 150 again, all these buy orders would have to be filled before it can reach that 150 level. And same way with this resistance, all of these sell orders will have to be filled before we can reach this 180. These are all the sell orders that we have currently on this exchange. Alright, so from here, let's go into the hash rate and the network hash distribution. This is on BitcoinCharts.com. And here we can see it looks like a healthy distribution of hashing power. Bitmit, which is one of my favorite pools because of their GUI, their easy point-to-click GUI, is not really that much of a threat. So I'll keep referring people there. One thing you want to keep in mind is you don't really want one pool to have a majority of the hash rate distribution, because if that happens, if they had malicious intents, they could compromise the Bitcoin network and compromise everyone's account, basically. The overall Bitcoin hash rate is now at about 2.3 petahashes. That's what this is right here. And we've basically seen just an epic increase of the Bitcoin hash rate. Here is the year chart of the Bitcoin hash rate. This is on blockchain.info under the charts section. You can see from November 2012 to October 2013, we've just seen an exponential increase. If we look at the all-time chart, this exponential increase is just more exaggerated, as you can see here. This is back in 2009 when Bitcoin first started, and this is to date, the present to date. Now, if this was a price graph, a Bitcoin price graph, I'd be getting scared and I'd be selling my Bitcoins right now. However, this is the hash rate. So this has to do with people mining, and will people turn their miners off? A lot of people went out and they bought a lot of these ASIC miners, and a lot of them don't use that much power. So there's really no incentive for people to turn off their miners and lower the hash rate. As it looks now, we may still see a steady increase, especially with the news that Cointerra is coming out with their 2 petahashes this December and putting it on the Bitcoin network. So if they deliver and that comes true, we'll see an even greater increase. Now, the only way that this hash rate can start to see a decline is if people start to focus on other alternative coins that are SHA-256, like peer-to-peer coin, Terra coin, Butterfly coin. Any of the coins that are SHA-256 that you can still mine with the ASIC miners, those may start to take the hash rate away from this Bitcoin chain and put it on other chains, and we may see a decline there. However, as long as the Bitcoin network stays healthy and the blockchain stays alive, we're going to see an increase in the hash rate. By the way, this is the Cointerra website, and let's go to their shop. You can see what they have in stock. They're selling the 1 terahash miners for $3,500, and then they're selling the 2 terahash miners for $6,000. If I do buy some of these, it will probably be after they're already out. I don't really want to take a chance pre-ordering, especially after what I've had to go through with Butterfly Labs, but that's just me. Alright, now let's get into the Litecoin price action. This right here is a year chart. This chart is on CryptocoinCharts.info. And this is the chart of the price of Litecoin on BTC-E. On this year chart, we've basically seen, since this high of the 189, we've seen a, not 189, excuse me, 589. Since this high of 589, we've seen a steady decline in the price. Recently, during the time when Bitcoin had its dip, Litecoin also dipped all the way down to 111, and that's what this spike downwards is. And since that spike, we haven't really seen a recovery as we have with the Bitcoin. We've just seen a downtrend. So I'm expecting a retest of around this level, about the 111 level. And if that support holds, then we may start seeing increase. Now, one thing I want to show you is this. I was looking at this Litecoin graph, and I was comparing it to the Bitcoin graph back in early 2010, I believe it was. This is the Clark Moody showing the Bitcoin price. By the way, this spike here is the 266 high that we saw back earlier this year in 2013. And let's go back to the past. And let's go all the way back to the first time Bitcoin hit this $30. And this right here was back in 2011. Let's change the period to 3-day period, and let's go back here. Alright, so this is the $30 that it hit. Right here, you can see at the bottom of the screen there, you can see the date. Now let's put this graph next to the current Litecoin graph, and let's see if we can see any similarities here. Alright, let's resize this window here. Oh, they put it in a little bit. Just scroll over. And let's zoom in a little bit here and move it here. Okay. So, as we can see, this is this initial right here on the left here. This is the initial spike we had when it went up here to the 65 cents, and then after that it just took off, went all the way up here to the 589. That's kind of like what's going on here to the right, where you have this initial spike here to what level is this? Let me zoom over. This is about the $7, $8 level, and then after that we had the huge spike all the way up to the $30. Since then, the price fell and then it just went down and then just continued on this downtrend. This dip right here, all the way down to $6, looks a little bit similar to me to this dip here when we go all the way down to 111. So if we're judging by this dip here, if we're trying to compare it to the old Bitcoin chart, we may start to see a decrease in the Litecoin price, and we may start going all the way back down. We may go back into the cents and may go all the way down to probably about this range here, about the 60 cents, 45 cents per Litecoin. However, if you keep following this graph, this is the Bitcoin graph, as we zoom along, you see it zooms out. If we keep following this graph, eventually what happened was it retested that $30 high, and then it just shot past that and went all the way up to that 266. And that may be what happens to Litecoin, is we're going to see a decline all the way down back here to the 50 cents range, and then eventually we may go back all the way up to retest this old high of, was it 589? And then after that, if that breaks, that resistance breaks, then we'll go all the way up to, I say, at least 50, maybe even higher. But yes, that's basically what's going on with the Litecoin price. But yeah, guys, that concludes this video. Rate, comment, and subscribe. This is just my opinion. I may be wrong, so don't take this as gospel. But this is just the Litecoin Bitcoin report. One thing I want to answer someone's question. They asked, well, what happened to the Bitcoin price with all this cloud mining? What could happen to that? One possibility is that the mining could start to become centralized, because what will happen is if you outsource your mining to other people, they will eventually start controlling the majority of the hashing power. And then as they start controlling more hashing power, they will eventually start getting a higher percentage. And if that continues, then they could eventually control the network. That is the worst case scenario. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Also, maybe what would happen to the price when people start paying for cloud mining, what may start happening is the price may start to stabilize to the point where it's actually profitable to mine again. But who knows? Crowd mentality is very hard to predict when prices start falling, especially dramatically. A lot of people get scared and they just panic sell. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. So basically that concludes this video, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and like I said, be sure to check out the official website, EndWorldSuck.com, which there will be backups of all these episodes on there. Obviously right now it's not on there because this is the first episode, but I'll be uploading this there too. And be sure to follow the Twitter, which is @EndSuck. And like I said, all of these links are in the description below. Alrighty, that concludes this video. I'm Jerry. Peace.